My name is David. Could my other members introduce themselves?
My name's Lily.
Oh, I'm Mervel.
Um, I don't think Akshan speak. So,
So, secondhand smoke travels through shared vents and cracks, and this disproportionately impacts low-income residents because of high-density housing. Opening a window or running a fan in confined spaces can fail to eliminate concentrated and harmful pollutants. And long-distance drivers are also at heightened health risk because of continuous and prolonged exposure to trapped smoke. For legislation, we had the Maryland Clean Indoor Air Act, which was signed in 2007 to preserve and improve health and the environment by limiting exposure to secondhand smoke in certain areas. Then in 2024 there was a bill that was an extension to the Maryland Clean Indoor Air Act. It required common ownership in multi-unit communities to enforce smoking policies, targeting the rise of um, secondhand electronic cannabis. And then there's SB Senate Bill 244, which included the indoor vaping ban, which expanded prohibitions on vaping to cover indoor workplaces and public transit areas requiring clear signage. And then there was a tobacco study, which directed the MDH to study issuing of alcohol licenses to tobacconists, placing a temporary freeze on new licenses through July 2026.
okay, so cannabis smoke is created through the burning or combustion of components of plants in the genus cannabis, which is how secondhand smoke and exposure are created. And this involves the chemical mixture of smoke from combusted cannabis and the exhalation of that smoke by the user, which creates the potential risk of secondhand smoke consumption exposure by other users. And there are many carcinogens and toxins present in this marijuana smoke, and this includes an active chemical and a lot of other cannabis, THC. And the 2024 U.S. Surgeon General's report also found that secondhand cannabis smoke contains many of the same toxic and cancer-causing chemicals found in tobacco smoke, and some of these chemicals are also found in higher amounts in secondhand cannabis smoke than in secondhand tobacco smoke. And so both tobacco and marijuana smoke impair blood vessels similarly. And so it goes kind of without saying that people should avoid both as well. And governments that are protecting people against secondhand smoke exposure should also include marijuana and other cannabis in those rules because they have similar effects on the body. And they also have similar effects for secondhand smoke exposure on other users. A meta-analysis conducted by Bella all revealed that there was several associated health risks, and there's consistent evidence that elderly experience a higher risk of particulate matter associated hospitalization and death. And there's also some evidence that women have higher risk of hospitalization and death, and suggestions evidence that those with lower education, income, or employment status have a higher risk of death. According to the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, there's studies that have linked particle pollution exposure to a variety of problems, including premature death in people with heart or lung disease, heart attacks, irregular heartbeat, aggravated asthma, decreased lung function, increased respiratory symptoms such as irritation of the airways, coughing, or difficulty breathing. And it's also important to note that the particles that pose the greatest problems are the ones that are less than 10 micrometers in diameter, so less than PM10. And this is because they can settle deep into the lungs and get into blood vessels as well. And with the impaired blood vessel function that smoking already poses, this can lead to an even worse detriment on both your lungs and heart, and pose various other health effects that I had mentioned before.
Okay, so in this study, it shows how air moves between units in multi-unit buildings, and it looked at whether sealing boundaries between units could reduce air transfer. They tested it by using PFT gases to measure air movements, and they actually found that nicotine transferred at about one-sixth the rate of PFT gases. So this kind of shows that ventilation changes can reduce, but not completely change or not or can or could not completely eliminate secondhand smoke exposure, but and also completely stopping air leakage between units is extremely difficult and just unrealistic. And so for the current status, SB 820 strengthens Maryland's regulation of nootropics like kratom by restricting retailers from distributing these products and allowing law enforcement to seize prohibited products, while SB 623 allows eligible cigar lounges to serve alcohol while imposing ventilation and safety requirements to protect public health. Yeah, so this could be like appropriate ventilation systems, warning signs, and employee acknowledgement of secondhand smoke hazards. So, SB 820 focuses more on controlling potentially harmful products, while SB 23 or 623 focuses on allowing business activity with safety restrictions.
That's the end of our presentation. Yeah. Any questions?
Okay, thank you, team, for this comprehensive research, right? So I think that one part is a little missing. If you can add in your report is the reason we come with this topic because our voter supported the recreational cannabis usage in the whole state of Maryland a few years ago. At that time, we don't have much research on this issue because we don't have massive cannabis like smoking issue, right? There's a difference between cannabis smoking and cigarette smoking. That's what I heard a lot from ordinary people because the smell for cannabis lingers much longer than cigarette. That has been always an issue to many residents. So I have same complaint as well. But then I remember a few years ago, I attended a conference where a lot of health officers from each different country to a medical meeting, and they are really concerned about cannabis usage, the widespread usage. So if you can add a comparison between that one, like smoking cigarettes and smoking cannabis, and that would be really helpful. And then put that in your final report.
Okay, sounds good. Right.
Yeah. Any other questions? Thank you.